Overnight, more than 150 raids taking place across the entire country of France. We're talking about that and more from the Live Alert Center.
Rain chances standing at 0 today, but high clouds will move through the skies. Also a mild start to the upcoming work week. We'll give you those details coming up.
And beach nourishment starts for one local community today. I'll tell you what it means for them and how much it's going to cost as Carolina in the Morning at 5 a.m. starts right now.
Where news comes first. This is WECT's Carolina in the Morning, streaming live on WECT.com and the WECT News app.
Good morning, I'm Bob Townsend.
I'm Kim Ratcliffe. Happy to have you with us this morning. And new this morning, anti-terrorism raids taking place overnight in Paris. All of this following Friday's deadly attacks.
That's right. Let's get to Bob Bonner right now in the Live Alert Center. Bob, bring us up to date.
Yeah, Bob, and those raids ordinarily would have been the headline overnight, but this news literally just coming in right now. Authorities out of France right now saying that they have determined who they believe is the mastermind behind these attacks. Abdelhamid Aboud, a 27-year-old out of Syria, considered to be one of the most active elements in the ISIS establishment in Syria. As of this hour, this is the man that they believe was the mastermind behind these attacks. This information very fluid at this moment. What they're saying right now, the authorities, are that he may have financed and organized these attacks that took place on Friday. And as you mentioned, these raids that took place overnight, before those raids happened, we also found out the identities of two of the suicide bombers that took part. One of those suicide bombers was actually a 28-year-old Frenchman. His family is now in custody as well after he detonated a bomb that blew himself up. The other suicide bomber was out of Syria. He detonated himself outside of the soccer stadium on Friday night. But again, overnight, more than 150 raids all across the country of France. These taking place a little bit less than 12 hours after we saw those French jet fighters taking off, leading an aerial attack across Syria. Now this morning, these attacks taking place going across in Lyon, France, where an arsenal of weapons was found, including a rocket launcher, bulletproof vests, combat gear. In Grenoble, they found money, guns, at least 3 people arrested in Toulouse as well. And the man you see on your screen right now, even though all of these raids taking place overnight, this man, Salah Abdeslam, a 26-year-old French national who they believe was leading the team of shooting individuals at the restaurants, his whereabouts at this hour still unknown. Nothing turning up from him this morning, but obviously this information this morning, very fluid. I'm going to get more information on this, come back to you from the Live Alert Center.
All right.
Let's come back to the Live Alert Center now. We mentioned at the top of the show that authorities believed they do in fact have the mastermind of these attacks in Paris on Friday. We can now give you a very first look at the man they believe is involved and the mastermind of these attacks. Paris officials saying that 27-year-old Belgian Abdelhamid Aboud financed and organized these attacks and the blast as well in the French capital of Paris on Friday. The 27-year-old man, considered one of the most active extremists of Islam State in Syria. His name became pretty popular on the investigation of the plotted terrorist attacks that took place in Belgium. Also, one of the terrorists wanted in Greece since the start of this year. Again, as of this morning, though, this man, Belgian Abdelhamid Aboud, now considered the mastermind behind these attacks in Paris. His whereabouts at this hour unknown. We'll continue to follow this situation as it continues to unfold this morning during Carolina in the Morning, guys.
Yes, Team Bonner, the latest details from the Live Alert Center.
Yeah, Kim, Bob showed us the man that the individuals are looking for based out of Belgium. Just as I was walking over to the Live Alert Center, a story coming across the Associated Press wire that says right now, heavily armed police involved in a situation, that's what they're quoting as situation, taking place in the capital, the Brussels capital of Belgium at this hour. So we'll continue to monitor that. But the numbers are starting to come in on the raids that have taken place all across France overnight. And the authorities now saying 168 total raids have taken place. Those raids led to 23 arrests. More than 31 weapons have been seized in these raids. Among these weapons, a rocket launcher, bulletproof vest, grenades, and armor-piercing ammunition found in these raids. The French Interior Minister saying that along with those 23 arrests, 104 people now considered to be under house arrest after these raids. Again, the situation continues to develop. I'll keep bringing the updates from the Live Alert Center.
Where news comes first. This is WECT's Carolina in the Morning, streaming live on WECT.com and the WECT News app.
And good Monday morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Ratcliffe.
And I'm Bob Townsend. 6 o'clock's our time right now, and happening right now. Let's take a live look at Paris, France. A moment of silence underway for the victims of the Friday evening terrorist attacks there in Paris. Meanwhile, back here in the United States, flags are flying at half-mast, half-staff it is, at the White House and other government buildings, and they will stay that way until sundown on Thursday. For the latest on what's been going on overnight, let's go to Bob Bonner in the Live Alert Center.
Yeah, Bob, a lot of information coming in overnight. Among the headlines this morning, 168 raids taking place across the entire country of France. Those raids now bleeding into neighboring Belgium as well. That's where we're getting word that one person has now been detained. The person on your screen is not that person. The person that's been detained this morning, no information coming in on him as of yet, but the individuals that they are looking for in Belgium, police wearing very heavily armored vests. They're also on rooftops of buildings, believing more people could be inside. Now, as to the man you just saw on your screen, this morning, French investigators are saying that 27-year-old Abdelhamid Aboud is said to be the mastermind behind the attacks in Paris on Friday that killed 132 people. He is on the run, considered to be one of the most active extremists in all of Islamic State in Syria. Also believed to have been linked to that attack on a high-speed train in Paris that Americans helped to stop. Now, with the arrest this morning, 8 people from Belgium now in custody with suspected links to that attack. Again, along with the mastermind, one other person is still at large. The situation seems to change each and every minute this morning. And we're back in the Live Alert Center, continue to following breaking news following the attacks in Paris on Friday. This morning, I mentioned that there was an arrest taking place currently right now in Belgium. We now know the individual that was arrested there, Salah Abdel Salam. He was the individual that police authorities in France were connected to the shootings there in Paris, saying that he was considered to be armed and extremely dangerous. But at this hour again this morning in Brussels, an arrest warrant and the arrest now, the man you see pictured on your screen, Salah Abdel Salam, is now in police custody, and we will continue to follow this breaking news throughout the morning, try to give you more updates. And we're back in the Live Alert Center, keeping an eye on the situation coming out of Paris, France this morning. Again, now after initial reports by both Belgium and French media this morning, they are now backing off those reports, saying that Salah Abdel Salam was not the individual that was arrested in Belgium this morning. One person, though, is in custody, but again, officials there in Paris and Belgium backing off the earlier statement that it was Salah Abdel Salam. Now, some good news this morning as people in Paris try to get about their normal daily activities. A pair of the museums there in town, some of the major landmarks in Paris, will reopen later this morning. The Eiffel Tower and the Louvre Museum will both open their doors for the first time since those attacks on Friday. Both of those landmarks scheduled to open at the top of the hour, which would be 1 o'clock local time in Paris. Each have been closed since the attacks on Friday night, but both opening their doors yet again this morning as they try to get back some sense of normalcy.
All right, Bob.